everybody. It is Wednesday. Welcome to the program tonight. On this Wednesday night, Wild Wednesday. How are you? Jennifer's with us. Number one. Kitty, how are you? How's everybody this Wednesday? Tell me what we're grateful for. Oops, hang on, I hit the wrong button there. How you guys holding up? What are we grateful for this Wednesday, Wild Wednesday? Tell me about it. Hey, Kelly. Great to have you with us, Kelly. Always glad to have you here, our Albuquerque. Adele and Dazzle are with us. What is happening in the world today, people? Tell me what we are grateful for. Kim, how are you holding up? As rain and wind and brimstone head towards Louisiana and Texas. That's all I really know. I honestly am in a news void. I've been disconnected. It is hump day. It is hump day. We were really busy today. But very grateful that it is hump day. I am right there with you. But thankful for strong sales. I'll take a strong sales day when we can get it. And we're having more of them lately than not, so that's a good thing. A great team makes the dream, Kelly. A great team makes the dream. Well, I am glad to hear that, Kim. I talked to my sister earlier, and she had said that she hadn't heard the latest weather report, but schools were closed for the next 2 days. And although she just got off a webinar, I'm like, don't you not have to work? And she's like, well, this was an outside webinar that was scheduled. And, but then she was going out to lunch before the storm with her friend. So it is going to be bad. That is what I keep on. The little bit that I'm hearing is wherever it hits, it is going to be bad. So I just was getting Nana settled, and she had CNN, and I saw the I-10 bridge in the background to, Texas, Louisiana bridge in the background there, and so I've certainly driven that more times than not. More times than I'd like to think about, but I am glad that it is avoiding all of you. So that is a good thing and something I am grateful for. So that is good. Well, let's get this program started here. On the Good Morning, Good Night book is how we start the program every night. The Good Morning, Good Night book. Tonight, for those of you that follow along like Kitty I know is following, we're going to page 54. I don't know that we've done this one. Good morning. Sometimes staying under the covers seems like the best option. I feel you, but come on, let's go see what's out there. There is our good morning. Let's see what's happening in the business world. Our friends at Best Buy are experimenting with turning some stores into hubs as it bets on a permanent shift towards online shopping. They are turning a quarter of its stores into hubs that can handle a high volume of online orders. It's not about less stores, they say. It's about using stores differently and meeting the customer where they want to be met. And I've talked about that a lot. You've got to go to where your customer is. So you have to be, where your customer wants you to be, in whatever form that is, online, in-store pickup, curbside, in-store. And that same customer can be using all of those in a relatively short period of time. And you're like, well, why did they get online pickup for this and come in store and shop for that? And it is an interesting tale, but one you have to be adaptable to so that we can serve people where they want to be served. Bed Bath & Beyond is getting out the knife and cutting about 5% of its workforce, of its overall workforce, 2,800 jobs across its stores and some at its corporate headquarters. Again, this workforce realignment in stores is also about stores becoming more efficient. So we've talked about that several times. So, you have to look at, as you look at this, you don't look at this as gloom and doom. Okay, you have to look at it as why is this happening? Okay, what efficiencies are they putting in place to still be able to serve their customers, again, to make things happen. So these pivots and these changes are incredibly important in these businesses. So that, working with less, I don't have what that, on a per store basis, what that reduces. But, those are things, as we all have to get more efficient, we have to be able to handle more with less. So that's what I read in the Best Buy cuts. Our friends at Panera, which I haven't been to in a while. I haven't been to a Panera, but I do like Panera. Launches ordering for delivery and curbside through the Google platforms. Most importantly, they've added this through Google Assistant. Okay, what a lot of these big guys are looking at is, how do I leverage voice? The next thing, that's sort of seen as the next wave. How do I use your Google Assistant, your Amazon Alexa? How do you leverage that to find out the next best things? How can you leverage that to say, Alexa, what's on sale at Kim's store? What's on sale at Kelly's in Albuquerque? Or what's still good at Still Good? So I mean, and having a skill that can add that and read to people, because that is the next big thing, and having a way to connect in that manner. So it'll be interesting. It's something I've certainly played with for item entry for clothing. I would love to be able to do voice data entry, and to have our team be able to. That's how I see our next level of leveling up, is take the typist out of it and be able to say Gap, medium, green, ladies shirt. So voice is and there are being the investments that other companies the big guys are making in this will bring it down to our level. So that's something to keep in mind. I have two friends that actually work in this, that actually own companies that work in this space, and are doing a lot of work in Alexa skills and voice. So it'll be interesting to see how it plays out in our own test in our own house. We had been doing a test in our house of what voice-enabled device we like better. Do we like using Siri? Do we like using Alexa? Do we like using Google? And we're really headed to be an Alexa household. That it works better than the Google platform and connects. So I mean, if I were to buy anything, awesome, Michelle. It's funny. Our electrician was doing some work. They had to replace a switch up in Rebecca's part of the house, and they replaced the switch or something, and we're throwing stuff away. And Rebecca's like, "What do you mean? This is I can use my Alexa with this?" And they had thrown out the instructions and everything else, and she's like digging through the trash to make all her new switch work with it. But these devices are part of our households, you know. And I have a big old house. I mean, our house was originally built in 1901. So we're looking at using some of the Amazon Alexa features by having them throughout the house to connect. So on Prime Day, that's the kind of deal that we're playing with. So we'll do it. And Rebecca had them in her dorm. She's got it in her car. Rebecca's got it everywhere. So, but it is what households are using, and businesses are looking at ways to do it. So it's something that is coming. I think it's early for some of our customers to adapt to, but I could see it for consignor balances. Hey, Alexa, what's on my consignor account? Or what? Give me the top 5 new items that Jennifer's got in today, or something. You know, you can do something with it. There definitely is a opportunity there. We'll have to see how others adapt. You know, how our friends at Home Shopping Network, QVC, are using it, and the plans that they're doing with it, and that'll help teach us ways to use it better. And to be able to take advantage of it, because I think that is a thing. And as people are stuck at home, they want somebody to talk to, I guess. You know, half the time I'm saying, Alexa, no, I didn't say that. I said play this. You know, I'm always looking. You know, one of the stations I'm listening to right now is when I'm playing the radio is Red, White, and Booze on Sirius XM. So say, Alexa, play Red, White, and Booze on Sirius XM. Sometimes I get a Red, White, and Blue song. Sometimes I get the other, but, you know, more times than not. Okay. In interesting marketing, okay, who's played Animal Crossing? Me. Rebecca raised her hand. All the hands. Okay. Raising hands for who's played Animal Crossing. I know some of my nightly listeners play Animal Crossing. Well, you reluctantly listen to me.
You're close to the kitchen and you're loud.
Yes, I'm close to the kitchen and I'm loud. We'll have to go do a retro set one night so people can see the kitchen again. We'll have a retro night or something, a throwback Thursday or something. But nobody's playing Animal Crossing. Nobody that's tuning in tonight ever plays Animal Crossing. I gotta say that I thought this was brilliant. This was absolutely brilliant. Michelle has watched her kids. That's good enough for me, Michelle. I fully admit I have not played it, but I know what it is. So I mean, it's not like I'm so clueless that I'd say, you know, if somebody said, "Do you know Animal Crossing?" And I wouldn't say, "Oh, well, you know, yeah, up the street where the farm is that I drive by every morning, sometimes the cows are crossing the street. Is that the Animal Crossing you're talking about?" But our friends at IKEA, okay, know, Michelle, that your kids, okay, play Animal Crossing. And how can they make it more real for what you should buy is IKEA has got the IKEA catalog into Animal Crossing. It's a game. So IKEA and Animal Crossing. So it's one of those. It's not virtual reality. What's the?
It's a simulator game.
It's a simulator game. Okay.
The newest Animal Crossing is Animal Crossing New Horizons, which is the game that IKEA has ported it into. And on that one, you get to live on your own private island.
Resale Island, people. Resale Island in Animal Crossing. I'm just saying.
It's a really chill game, and I highly recommend it as stress relief.
It's a stress reliever. What happened to just the stress ball? Taking a walk around the building. I'm just saying.
You can do that in Animal Crossing.
You can do that in Animal Crossing. I'm suggesting you actually just do it. Take a walk around the building. Use the stress ball. I don't know, but IKEA is doing that, and they're doing that so Michelle sees her kids like that in their room in Animal Crossing, and then Michelle goes to IKEA.com and buys the stuff. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out for IKEA. So what we can learn from that. I'm going to come back to that. We've covered that. Did I have something else? Hang on a second, folks. I just got to check my pile here. I haven't had time to verify my piles before going live each night. The states getting an extra $300 are up to 30 states that are going to get the extra $300, but it's not going to last very long, people. They're really banking on this couple-week thing because it's already estimated by the $600 not being in the economy. I agree with you, Kelly. You need, well, that's a whole nother HR thing, but you're not supposed to throw the stress ball. Yeah, I'm gonna leave that alone. There's no labor law that says you can't duct tape somebody's mouth either. We have this wonderful new employee that's driving people in my warehouse crazy because she talks to the clothing. She talks to it. And oh, this piece, you're blue and you have a cupcake on you. Do you like cupcakes? I like a cupcake. I mean, she has this whole conversation with every piece of clothes. At the end of the day, she's incredibly fast, she's accurate, and she's doing her job really, really well. So one of the things that we did to try to subdue this, and most of the people in my warehouse are wearing headphones anyways, is we turned the music up really loud. But by trade, she's a music teacher. So now she sings, and she tries to hit every note. So we didn't win on that, but that's a whole nother discussion. So, coworkers have advocated for duct tape. What does New York Fashion Week need this fall? What does New York for all these years has been missing from New York Fashion Week? Besides me. Yeah, well, Kelly, she says she's used to talking to 2-year-olds. And I'm like, so am I some days. I mean, second graders, not 2-year-olds. And I feel that way some days, too, with my work. But neither here nor there, she does a good job. Oh, ours is loud. I've got to get everybody new noise-canceling headsets. One of them's got really big ones now that she's wearing. It's really kind of comical in my warehouse right now, but they're outputting more inventory than ever, so I am not complaining. So, what is New York Fashion Week missing? It's missing home. And so with this New York Fashion Week doing from different sites and homes and different things, they have partnered with Lowe's, okay, because they're going home with Lowe's. So you will see Lowe's products and promotions throughout New York Fashion Week this week. Next month when it happens, when Fashion Week hits. I forget when Fashion Week is. Because I'm not cool. I'm not like Sue McCarthy. I'm not cool and show up to Fashion Week. But they are. Lowe's is and Lowe's will also live stream each designer's show on its Twitter account. There you go. Bare Necessities. The owner of Bare Necessities okay, is getting a new owner. The online intimates retailer, which was acquired by Walmart, is set to be acquired by Delta Galil Industries, a global manufacturer and marketer and brander of private labeled apparel products for men, women, and children. Other brands that they own or develop for are Seven for All Mankind, Splendid, Ella Moss, Shizer, Eminence, Athena, and Liable, PJ Salvage, and others. And they license products under brand names to Wilson, Converse, Tommy Hilfiger, and more. So Walmart is getting rid of bare necessities. They have no necessities at Walmart. So our friends at Children's Place swing to a 1/4-2 loss. Not a big surprise there. Their statement, because I guess they do a big Black Friday business, they are warning Wall Street that they see a significantly reduced Black Friday, and that it's not appropriate to be having doorbusters or other things that drive people in at Black Friday. They earned money the same time last year. This year they lost $46.6 million. But sales only fell 12.3%, which isn't bad in the whole scheme of things. And that was partly because online was up 118%. But they spent $50 million on their digital transformation. I can assure you, we did not spend $50 million on our digital transformation. This headline is not shocking. U.S. consumer confidence at a 6-year low and underscores concerns about the economic recovery. And a lot of this goes to the concerns over jobs, the pandemic assistance, the extra federal assistance that is stopped, and what that's going to or not going to do to the economy that you've taken. It's obviously going to do something to the economy, because even if these people went back to work, not having that extra $600 of government money going into the economy is hurtful. I believe economists are rating it wrong, though, because it's not the whole $600 that's hitting the economy. Yes, that money's out there, but it's some portion of that. Okay, so if now you're at 110% of a person's wages, okay, with their unemployment with the extra $600, if now you're at 110% of their wages, it's really only a 10% bump to the economy of extra money that's out there. So it's not the way that it's being purported in the media. But it is money in the economy, so I'm not disputing that. There's a lot of concern with that. There's a lot of concern about an upcoming evictions for money not being out there. I am, from everything I am getting from Congress, I am feeling good that they will put one more bill together before the election, right after Labor Day when they come back. That they're going to put something together, they're going to agree on it, they're going to whine, kick, and scream both sides, they're going to do it, and come together one time, and then that will be it until after the election, barring some huge, massive drop in things. That will be the last government legislation until after the election. So, but I am really convinced that that is going to happen from all the conversations I am having. What are you doing September 15th? What are you doing? Do you have plans September 15th? Do you? Are you close to New York? I'm close to New York. The world's largest in the world hot light will be getting turned on September 15th in Times Square. Krispy Kreme sets the opening for their Times Square flagship of September 15th. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Pandemic, slamdemic, it doesn't matter. Donuts, people. Krispy Kreme donuts. The 4,500 square foot store will feature the largest hat light and immersive and interactive digital experiences and exclusive merchandise, as well as the brand's iconic donuts. I mean, nothing beats a hot Krispy Kreme right off the line. And there'll be a stadium-style seating area. I don't know how that works during a pandemic. Designed as the world's largest Krispy Kreme donut box. And you'll be able to do curbside or exterior window for curbside ordering and pickup, and an interior grab-and-go counter. The shop is expected to serve more customers annually than any other Krispy Kreme location in the world. And you can reserve a time on the Krispy Kreme app. Okay, I may have to make a trip to New York City. Yes, Sarah. That is what I'm talking about. There is something special about a hot Krispy Kreme donut. When we used to have them in Connecticut, okay, when they went through their big expansion phase and they had shops in Connecticut, right now there's only one, and it's at the casino, which is at the other end of the state. But when they had it, I would get sent, and I'm still sent to custom donut shop, well, baked goods and other things. I would get sent with like a hot oven bag, like they deliver a Domino's pizza in, to go pick up donuts, bring them in the hot bag, and keep them warm, and put the hot bag on the heated seat in the car, is what I was sent to do. I like to say I was making this up, but I'm not that creative, people. I am not that creative. So, yes, I have done that. I can't say that those donuts would make it back from New York City, but it does sound like a fun trip. September 15th, I'm just saying, it's not that far away. So, one of the hot topics with you all, I'm getting southern on you for a minute here, it has been leases and your landlords and landlord negotiation and issues with your landlords. And I've talked about just in general nationwide. I've been working, as I've worked with various people here. I'm seeing a 10 to 15% or so average reduction in rent, plus some monthly concessions, some givebacks initially on this year and things. So I've seen some sizable dollar shifts. And, in a sign that landlords are getting it, oops, part of the flower there, retail landlords are offering pandemic clauses in new leases. Retail landlords are including pandemic language in new leases, a previously rare feature as tenants seek protection after the first government-mandated coronavirus shutdowns complicated their negotiations for rent relief. Because insurance policies didn't cover pandemic-related losses, landlords have offered various concessions to attract and retain tenants, including allowing them to defer part of their rent if another shutdown is ordered. Both sides get breathing room. Tenants are able to lower expenses, while landlords are still able to collect some money for overhead in their mortgage. You have to provide the tenant an easy decision. If you make it complicated, this is the part I like. If you make it complicated, you're not going to get this done. A property developer said. An owner-manager of more than 45 open-air retail properties in Washington, D.C.'s Georgetown neighborhood. They've offered to cut the minimum base rent to 50% if the District of Columbia prohibits tenants from operating their business again because of the coronavirus. and for the tenant to repay the difference in 6 equal monthly installments on the first day after reopening. He also has opened leases structured, and this is something that I've been working with people on, structured on a percentage of the retailer's sales. Percentage rents, which would limit tenants' expenses if their sales declined, is something they have been very open to signing amended leases for. So, how you do that. So for those of you that I haven't had this direct conversation with, percentage sales are very common in mall leases. So if you think of a traditional mall lease, an inline mall store, a store in a mall, the malls work hard to get the anchor tenants, okay, and then they get the inline stores, the stores that are in between anchors, okay, to sign up, and they typically get them to sign up for multiple malls, okay, that's as we became over-malled as a country, and they get them to agree to a base rent and then a percentage of sales when sales are over a certain dollar figure. In this case, as we're talking about pandemic relief, what I've been working with landlords and store owners on is getting their leases in line with what they were beforehand. So, for example, on average in the resale industry, resale industry rents fall in the 6 to 12% range. Put that aside for a second. That's just an industry statistic. When you look at numbers historically with this landlord, where do you fall? What are you paying in rent as a percentage of sales? When you look at that and you say to the landlord, on average, I'm paying 10% as a percentage of sales in rent, and I will pay you 10% of sales going forward in rent to keep my percentage the same, and we'll work together to get my sales back up as this huge crisis on the economy, on people, on our community subsides. And a lot of landlords are very open to that when you have that discussion and you have that openness with them. They want you to be successful. Most good landlords, and most landlords are good. There's always the asshole. There's always the jerk. Okay, I have one landlord that's like that. Okay, and I'm working. It is one of my goals not to take advantage of the pandemic, but the reality is there are stores that won't reopen. And so one of my goals is to move that location because I don't like having adversarial relationships. I like to have a partnership. I like to have people that I can go out and have a beer with. It's interesting. I heard an article today, and it was a microbrewery. It was a black-owned microbrewery, okay? And it was an interesting conversation about their business model because how they, so often microbreweries end out in depressed areas because of the cheap rent and everything as they start up, and it attracts a lot of non-blacks to the area, and it doesn't solve the problem of the area. And as we're dealing with a country with the whole coming together and understanding of everything that's happening with race in our country still, which is still pretty shocking, these people wanted to have a black-owned enterprise in a black neighborhood, but they're like, beer is a unifying factor, okay? Beer is brings people together. You can be having, this guy was like, I was having a beer with a janitor and then like a movie star or something in the same night. It's a unifying thing. It brings people together. What is it? That Springsteen song, I was walking in, he was walking out of the bar. We went in, we went back in, and we had a beer. It is a unifying factor. Even as I sit here and have scotch, beer is a unifying factor. I can sit and have a beer. And I want landlords that I can sit and talk to. Okay, I want landlords that we can go out and have a good time and talk about what's happening in the world, in our lives, and everything else. Yes, there's a business relationship, but there is more than just a check every month. And so I really look for that. That's the kind of relationships I want with everybody. Okay, I don't want our relationship to be transactional. I don't want this to be transactional. Okay, I don't want us here tonight, that show up every night for this show to be transactional. Okay, life is too short to be just a series of transactions. And I love sales, and I love the register ringing like Jewish Christmas bells. Okay, but life is more than just a series of transactions. About the relationships you make. We've talked so much about how our stores are the community, and our landlords need to be a part of that too, and most of them are. Most of them are. Out of mine, I have one that isn't. Okay, that one that just isn't working for me. The person that owned the building before was perfect like that, and we really got it. Okay, and people thought he was a terrible business, and he really got business. He understood it, he got it, and so this guy doesn't. That's okay. That's okay. I don't want to be a part of that. So as somebody doesn't make it, or whatever, or space becomes available, I'm going to look for an opportunity for that. And that's sort of the next thing that I have here. Is while retail bankruptcies have subsided this year, they're expected to return with a vengeance in Q1 2021. Why is that? It's you're locked. Everybody's locked in. Okay, the people that are invested in retail, whether it's your landlords, the retailer themselves, their banker, their inventory provider, whoever it is, all these people at this point, as we head into September, are locked into the holidays. They'll hang on with you through the holidays. Okay? And then they want their money. So and that's something that's traditional every year. Okay? And even in a pandemic, that's no different. But so people are so all the money behind that is saying, okay, you either make it or break it over the holidays, and we'll have some closures after that. And so it'll be worse than the normal January, but the media will overblow it. There's some right sizing, as our friend said yesterday. Was it yesterday or the day before? There are billions of new market share for us to get. So billions available to us. So just keep that in the back of your head. Billions available. Hey, Nebraska Angie joined us tonight. Hey, Nebraska Angie, cheers. So keep that in the back of your mind. We're up to 30 states that are giving the extra $300 in unemployment assistance right now. Again, Congress is going to do something, okay, with that in the coming legislation. So we'll see where that all goes. Oops. But I think that is there will be continued unemployment assistance at the federal level in some support fashion at a lower amount through the end of the year to the states. So currently 30 states are participating. That money is going to go very quickly. Nationwide, they were spending about $100 billion a month for the 600, which means you're spending about $50 billion a month on the 300. Actually, a little less. You're probably spending about. You're actually probably spending a lot less, because they also put that the person had to be earning $100 in unemployment to begin with. and there was only about 40-something billion available for this. So it's a very limited pool that are getting. It's really only going to be a few weeks, and with this hurricane destruction, FEMA is going to need money for other things. So Congress will come through with something through the end of the year, and it'll be retro for the states that didn't participate. But I'll keep you posted on that. You know, these videos and everything we talk about here, all the resources I talk about are available at narts.org/resalestrong. narts.org/resalestrong. By noon the very next day. The magic of the internet. Really the magic of Cassandra and Adele making it all happen. By noon the next day there for you. So it's all available at narts.org/resalestrong. It's there to keep you organized, to make it a nice, easy spot so it doesn't overly clog the feed here on the live feed on Narts. Private Facebook page, but it's also there so you can share with all your friends so we can help everybody across the line, so we can get everybody to the other side of this. Absolutely everybody we want there. So share that out with them. If you have a question in between, I am here at more 8 than ish Eastern every night. More 8 than ish Eastern every night in the Narts private Facebook group, telling you the latest of what's going on and answering your questions. If you have a question in between, just email me. Neil, Neil at ECIstores.com, Neil at ECIstores.com. And it doesn't matter who emails me, butcher, baker, candlestick maker. I answer them all. I've worked with more industries than I can count during this. And I'm proud of our association, our industry, for leading the way for business to get to the other side of this. In our program, we start the night every night. Every night with the Good Morning, Good Night book is how we start the program every night. Tonight we started on page 54 with Good Morning. Sometimes staying under the covers seems like the best option. I feel ya. But come on, let's go see what's out there. Our good night tonight is good night. And there's your comfy bed right where you left it. You earned this good rest. Good night. I love the graphic. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Neil Abramson. I do like a good party, a wedding, a bar mitzvah even. We're gonna party again. We're gonna be together before you know it. I promise you that. The world will come together. We just love human contact too much. But until then, know that I'll be back here tomorrow night at more 8 than ish. And until then, know that you and you, but most especially you, yes you, are not alone running this store. It's time for me to go check on Nana and then find some dinner. Have a great night, everybody!